You've seen the slide. From every CEO at every earnings call, in every annual report, we are an AI-first company. So here's the question. How do you actually know if it's true? In the next few minutes, I'll introduce two things. First, the AIDE Institute. That's the AI-Driven Enterprise Institute. And second, the AIDE Index. The index is how we answer that question at scale, with evidence, without taking anyone's word for it. My name is Paul Cheek. I am the co-founder and CEO of the AIDE Institute, and I'm excited to share with you more about the work that we've done to help boards and leadership teams answer this question. From my experience as a senior lecturer at MIT, working with executives on AI transformation, upskilling, and strategy, as well as the work that I do advising AI native startups, I have a unique vantage point that drives everything we do as we evaluate AI maturity. I know that boards and management teams need data to inform their decisions on AI. But what I also know is that right now, they don't have the data that best sets them and their organizations up for success. Here's the issue. Companies have a strong incentive to inflate their AI adoption reporting. So they do. They put it on their website, they put it in the annual report, they tell every analyst who will listen. And the entire ecosystem, from investors to the media to journalists to regulators to boards, they've all had to rely on what companies say about themselves. When we look at that to us says that the data that's out there today does not best inform decision making. This data produces a distorted picture. There's no objective, standardized way to benchmark how deeply AI is actually embedded in the enterprise economy today. At least, there wasn't. That is the vacuum that the AIDE Institute fills. Let me share a little bit more with you about what the AIDE Institute does. First and foremost, our mission is straightforward. We seek to provide the factual, behavioral basis for understanding how AI is truly transforming the enterprise economy, without bias, and without relying on what companies choose to say about themselves. So we measure AI maturity based on evidence. We look at signals from what companies are saying and what they're doing, but not claims. We track behavior across companies, across countries, and individuals using the AIDE Index, which currently covers more than 3,000 companies. We've started with the S&P 500 and expanded our research into other regions around the world. We've collected hundreds of millions of public data points. No proprietary access required. We take an outside-in methodology that reduces bias and produces objective, comparable scores. We look at behavior, not branding. And we think that's a very important distinction. Now, the AIDE Index, what we use to compare companies to each other, has a specific structure. There are 4 pillars, which are each scored independently, and then combined into one composite score. That one composite score is each individual company's AIDE Index score. Let's look at these 4 pillars that make up the AIDE Index. First is AI literacy. This answers the question, do the board members and top management team actually have the experiences, skills, and foundation to lead in an AI-driven era? You can see that through our data in articles, interviews, keynote speeches, panel discussions, publications, LinkedIn profiles, and more. Second is AI advocacy. What is the leadership team actually saying about AI in public? We look at the same kinds of sources, but now we're looking at the message that they are sharing itself. We're looking not just at what they know, but also what they're saying. Third is AI orientation at the company level. We look at the company's AI strategy, partnerships, acquisitions, workforce, organizational structure. Is the company actually organized as if AI matters? Or is it still organized for the marketplace of yesterday? And fourth is AI implementation. This is looking at AI in the company's products, AI in operations, in deployment, the evidence of actual rollout, case studies, patents, annual reports, website content, and more. We look at all these data sources to understand how is the company implementing AI. At the board member and executive level, we look at AI literacy and AI advocacy. For the company itself, we look at AI orientation and AI implementation. These four pillars produce the one composite score that you can use to compare across thousands of companies. Again, starting with the S&P 500. We use these scores to produce the AI-driven enterprise matrix. From these scores, every company gets plotted on a matrix that we've developed to map how strategic intent around AI on one axis compares to the company's operational integration of AI on the other axis. When we look at the data and we evaluate the visualization produced by the AIDE matrix, four cohorts emerge. First are those organizations that are the AI trailblazers in their sectors. These are the organizations that rank highly, both in terms of AI strategic intent and AI operational implementation. These are the companies who are both saying it and doing it. The next are the stealth adopters. These are the organizations who are implementing AI, but they're not talking quite as much about it. The third quadrant in the matrix are the AI visionaries in their sectors. These are the organizations that are talking about it, saying it, but they're not yet doing it. And the fourth quadrant in the matrix are those companies emerging. These are companies that are getting started on both fronts. The AIDE matrix is a simple map of where every enterprise actually stands in the AI transformation. So we've walked through the measurement problem. From the problem, we moved into the AIDE Institute and how we fixed that problem. From the Institute, I walked you through the four pillars: literacy, advocacy, orientation, and implementation, all as it relates to AI at the leadership and company levels. And from the pillars, we moved into the matrix that maps every enterprise into one of four cohorts. We compare all companies against their closest peer group in their sectors. So your job this week is to go to AIDEinstitute.com. Find the data. Go to the AIDE index. Find your own organization. And then ask yourself honestly, which cohort are you actually in? The takeaway? Well, in the AI transformation era, what you say about AI doesn't matter. What the data says about you and how your organization is both looking at AI from strategic intent and operational implementation, that's what's going to drive your organization forward into the era of the AI-driven enterprise.